Today in this lecture we will know about software testing. The software testing is a very important, crucial and decisive steps in the process of software product development. We know that the general steps in the software development life cycle are requirement analysis, designing, coding, and of course testing and maintenance, and then product delivery. So obviously software testing is a seamless task of the software development life cycle. So let's begin the software testing. So it is the process of exercising a program with the specific intent of finding errors prior to delivery to the end users. Before we deliver the final product to the end user, we perform some testing. Okay, so this testing helps us to make our software fault and defect free, and that meets the user's requirement. So it is very important task in the software development life cycle. One by one we will see. Okay, before we begin in the software testing, let's understand some terms that will be used again and again in that software SDLC's life cycle and testing part. So what is the defect? We see first error. What is the error? This is caused due to the human action, like code is not following the standard. There is some mistakes in syntax that is done by the developer side, or our side who is developing the coding part is doing, or there is a mistake in invocation of variables, or might be there is some mistake in which database connectivity code is faulty. So error is similar to some mistakes done by you yourself in the coding part at the time of doing the implementation. You did some mistake. Sometimes it is generally it is unknowingly we did this type of mistake, writing some misspelled syntax, we have not written correctly, like this. It happens. It's a human error that we do. So what is the next point? Is the defect. You can see here. What is the defect? It is the difference between the expected and actual result in the context of testing. It is the deviation of the customer requirement. If there is a deviation, there is a variation, it is the software is not meeting the user's requirement, then obviously there is defect in the software, and that defect must be corrected, that must be fixed. Okay, so next part you can see here the bug. What is the bug? A programming error that causes a program to work poorly. It may produce incorrect results, or sometimes crashes. So what is this? This is called the bug, and we need to remove these bugs, and for that we use the debugging. Okay, so in other words, we can see here, what is this? A mistake in the code. A mistake in the coding is called error. Error found by the tester is called defect. A defect accepted by the development team, that is called bug. And builds does not meet the requirement, then it is failure. It is failure. So like this, you need to understand these terms before we dive into this testing part. I think I hope it is now clear. Okay, once again you see this picture and the sequence, how it is happening: error, fault, and failure. Failure, how it is coming. So a person makes an error, it may be any error, then what it causes? That creates a fault in the software, and what happens after that? The system failure happens. Okay, so this can cause a failure in the operation. So this is the error, fault, and failure. you need to understand these terms, because again and again we will use. Okay, so you need to make the clear distinction among these. Next is the types, broad categorization of testing. So you can see here we have only broad categorization two types of testing that we do. One is the manual testing. Manual testing is nothing but testing of software done manually without the use of automated tool or applications available in the market. So this we will do by manual work, and not use any automated softwares that are available in the market. So there will be some tester. This chap you can see here. So he will do manually each test case he will take and test each and every component. So it's the job of developer. Okay, so he will do. Many persons who are involved in the testing, they are part of the testing. So it may be the developer, a separate tester person is also there who tests the software. There is a software testing professionals are also available. Their job is to only test the software for its validations. So they are doing. So but in the manual testing you can see here it is the manually we are doing everything. So what is happening, it is very challenging. In the terms of it is very boring time. It takes lot of time because we have to go through each and every component, and you have to take each and every test cases, and it is very tedious also. Mistakes and errors also may happen because we are doing manually. So in the testing we do this one. So it is you can see here manual testing how it is tedious and it is a very lengthy task. So manual testing is preferred in the previously. Now very advanced tools has came that automation testing is there. So you can see here automation testing. In the automation technique in the testing part, so what will be an automatic technique will be there where the tester writes scripts by own and uses the suitable software to test the software. So in the automation testing it is happening like that. We have the different tools available nowadays. As per your requirement you can go through these tools. Some open source as well as some proprietary softwares for the testing purpose is also available. The persons can use for that purpose. So some of the Selenium testing is very famous nowadays. Many people are using. So these are the few names of automated testing tools you can see here. Okay, we have Bugzilla, we have JMeter, of Apache. Okay, IBM relational software is there, Cucumber is there. Okay, SOAP UI is there. Okay. Different names are there. These are the nothing but the automation testing tools available in the market. There are lots of other also, but few of them here you can know. We also have the automated testing tools in the market that can be used. Okay, what testing shows? What it shows, it tells the errors, okay, requirement conformance and performance and indication of the quality. So we will as a result of testing we will come up with these things. We'll be able to find some errors, what is the error, whether it is conformance requirement conformance is there or not as per our requirement, performance is meeting or not in terms of hardware, software, whatever we have intended, functionality, functional and non-functional requirements. Okay, it also after testing we can say if the certain software has passed the testing, then we can say it is a quality software. So strategic approach in testing. So to perform effective testing, you should conduct effective technical reviews by doing these many errors will be eliminated before testing commences. And second one, begins the component level and works outward toward the integration of the entire computer based system. Okay, third one is the different testing techniques appropriate for different software engineering approaches and at a different point in time. Like different point in time means it may be at the time of initially, we can at the requirement type also we do the technical analysis. After that we are doing unit wise testing, integration testing. At different point of time we do the testing work. So testing is conducted by the developer of the software, and for large projects and independent test groups are also there. They are software testers. Okay, they are there. It is a software testing job is also there. So developer also does this at his own end. A separate group may also be their tester, and we do some testing in the end also by the person who is like client side. They are also testing the software, and that we have the acceptance testing. So testing and debugging are different activities, so don't mix this one. But what is happening, debugging must be accommodated in any testing strategy. Debugging means, what is debugging? Means some bug is there and you are trying to fix those bugs. Okay, next one is the verification and validation. These are the two terms that are very much related in the testing part. You can see here. So verification refers to the set of tasks that ensure that the software correctly implements a specific function. So this is the verification part. And validation refers to a different set of tasks that ensures that the software that has been built is traceable to the customer requirements. Okay, so these two terms you can see in verification. We can see Boehm has defined these terms in very briefly. He told, are we building the product right is the verification, and validation is, are we building the right product. So here you can see here in verification product right, and here right product. These terms are very famous, you need to remember this one. So some general differences are there. We can see here what is the difference between the verification and the validation. You can say verification is the process of evaluating products of a development phase to find out whether they meet the specified requirements or not. So this is the verification. In validation, it is the process of evaluating software at the end of the development process to determine whether software meets the customer expectations and requirements or not. So it comes under the validation. The objective of the verification is to make sure that the product being developed is as per the requirement and design specification or not. Okay, here the validation, you can see here the validation of the objective of the validation is to make sure that the product actually meet up users requirement and check whether the specification were correct in the first place. Okay, so following activities are involved in the verification. At the time of in the process of verification, we do the revisions, we do the review part. Okay, then we also do meetings and we do the inspections, and it is done by our side. We do this one. But here you can see here the activities which are involved in the validation. You can say the testing like black box testing, white box testing, gray testing, etc. we can do at the time of validation. We will validate what the right product Are we building the right product or not? Next, you can see here the verification and validation. You see here, verification is carried out before the validation. That is very important term. So verification is done prior to the validation, and validation activity is carried out just after the verification that we completed. So verification, you can see here the same term we have repeated once again. The verification is carried out by the QA team, QA quality assurance team, to check whether implementation of software is as per the specification or document or not. Validation is carried out by the testing team. So these are the some differences that we have tried to convey this. Next, who tests the softwares? The question comes, who will test the software? Whose responsibility is to do this software testing part? So it is the developer. Whenever he is writing code, like unit wise or component wise, he is doing the testing by his own, whether it is working or not. Okay, so it understands the system, but will test gently the developer side, and is driven by the delivery. Here, independent tester, so must learn about the system. He will learn about the system, okay, for which it is being prepared, will attempt to break it, and is driven by the quality. Okay, so it is the independent tester is there, the test groups are there, they will do, and the developer also is doing at his own end. And later on, the client, the customer for whom we are preparing the building the software, he will also do that. We call the acceptance testing. So testing strategy, what is meant by the testing strategy? Before going to complete some work, we apply some strategy to solve some problems. So here also, how we will do this testing part, we'll see here. What is the strategy for software testing? Provides, it gives a roadmap that describes the steps to be conducted as part of the testing. Tells the steps that you will conduct as a part of the testing. When these steps are planned and then undertaken, and how much effort, time and resources will be required. So in the testing strategy of the software, we will do these things. Therefore, any testing strategy must incorporate test planning, test case design. Okay, so test case design is a very, very important part of your testing, because without the test case we can't do the testing. Then we'll perform the test executions and resultant data collection and evaluation. Whatever result we have received as an output we got, so we will do the evaluation for that. So when you are testing, you will generate a test report at the end. So in that testing strategy, you can see here, you can look here, we have the system engineering, analysis, modeling. Okay, here you can see here we have design, modeling, code generation we do. Okay, like V model we have seen. Okay, V model we have seen. In that, here correspondingly whatever the steps we are following from the requirement to the coding part, and then similarly we also correspondingly we create the test cases in this. Then we do the unit testing, system integration testing, system testing, like that we perform here. So you can see testing strategy, you can look here. We have in the beginning we have the unit test, then integration test. Okay, unit means component wise, and here integration, you have different units, then you will combine, you will integrate. By integration you will perform this testing, that is nothing but the integration. Then you will do the validation testing, after that system test. So these are the different strategies we use for the testing purpose. So you can see here we begin by testing in the small and and move towards the testing in the large. So we start first from the small and move towards testing in the large. So for conventional, what we are doing, the module, that is a component, is our initial focus. We'll start from that point. Then after that we do for the integration, that is the combination of different modules. Okay, so that is the integration part. So we'll integrate the modules, then we'll do the testing. And one approach is here, you can see here object oriented software strategy is there. In that, what we do, our focus when testing in the small changes from an individual module, that conventional view, to an object oriented class. So in object oriented programming approach, we know we have the class. So the class can be treated as one basic unit, that is the unit, and that unit can be tested for its validation, its verification. So you can see here the object oriented class that encompass what it has. It has the attributes, it has the operations, and implies communications and collaborations with other classes. So what are these? You can see here I have one class, that is car. In that it will have some methods, it will have some attributes. Attributes mean fuel, maximum speed. Okay, there are different attributes are there. Then refuel, get fuel, set speed, get speed, the drive. These are the different methods that is associated with the class name car. So they individually we will check for all the attributes and functions whether they are working or not. So that comes under class wise testing we are doing. We are picking one by one class, means this is called a one unit in the software. So unit wise we will perform this testing. This is nothing but this can also be treated as a unit testing. Okay, so you can see here the strategic some issues are there. So specify product requirement in a quantifiable manner, in a quantitative that can be counted manner long before testing commences. So you have to do this, and we have seen in the V model we are doing this one where whenever the requirement is fixed, we have the complete hold over the requirements. We can build this, we can set the V model, and correspondingly we can create the test cases also. So what we have to do, quantifiable manner long before the testing commences. So state testing objectives explicitly. So whatever objective of the testing is there, you have to write clearly. Then understand the users of the software and develop a profile for each user category. This is a very, very important part. Okay, so who are the users? We need to create the profile for them, and according to them we will create this test cases. The user is illiterate, they have some knowledge about the computer, they are well aware of the computer knowledge. So in that we do the profiling of the users, based on we create the test cases and we perform the testing. So develop a testing plan and emphasizes the rapid cycle testing. Build robust software that is designed to test itself. Use effective technical reviews as a filter prior to the testing. So technical team will be there, technical review will be done for the effective technical reviews will help to reduce the testing part. So conduct the technical reviews to assess the test strategy. Okay, so again whenever whatever testing strategy you are going to apply, we have to perform some technical reviews over the testing strategy that we are going to do, or whatever test cases we are using. So after that you go for the testing, otherwise your effort will be wasted. develop a continuous improvement approach for the testing process. We have to we have to create a continuous improvement approach for the testing process. Next, unit testing, you can see here. Unit means, I told in the object oriented programming, you can treat that one class can be treated as a unit, and that can be tested for its different operations within that, and it has some operations, and it has some attributes, how the operations are happening, the operations are performing with the help of the attributes available in the class, right? As we have seen this in the examples. Okay, so in unit testing, software engineers, he will do. So what we need the test cases. Test cases are the all possible type of inputs that we will put into the module, and we have some set the desired results is there, so whether that is meeting or not, so module to be tested here. Okay, then we'll get the results. Okay, very famous JUnit is there. This is the 5th version, not so. JUnit is a unit wise testing software tool. It is a it is a framework which is used for the Java programming, and that is used for the unit testing module wise. If you want to do the testing for unit testing, we can use this JUnit, okay, for the Java platform. Okay, so you can see here in unit testing, whatever module you need, you are going to be tested, that you will select. And because we have the test cases means it will have the required number of permutation, different permutation and combination of the values of the test cases will be there. That will be work as an input to this one, to that module, and we will match the input versus output. Okay, if they are matching, they will then we will write the reports. So what you will test here, you will test for the interface. Okay, suppose I have one function. In the functions, the interface will be the input parameter that you are giving, and the output whatever you are getting. So like that. So we need to check the interfaces, local data structures, whatever data structures you have used, the data types you have used, different data structure, whatever methodology you have used, that will be checked. Then some boundary conditions will be there. You have to need to check the boundary conditions. Okay, for example, if you have created some calculator and you want to check the division, so boundary will be value, you can check 1 divided by 0, like that. These will be the boundary values. We will check whether the calculator is working at this, what answer we are getting, like this, so, like this. Okay, next one is the independent. What are different independent paths and error handling paths? So different these things we will keep in mind while testing, while performing the unit testing, and we will create the test cases according to this one. Okay, this is nothing but the unit testing. Unit wise, we will the smallest independent part that we have in the software development life cycle that we have created, that the software developer had created. So unit wise he will test. So unit test environment, you can see here we have the modules. Okay, we have the stubs, small piece of codes, and these are the drivers. Okay, so we have the, what is this? We have the test cases, the same thing, interface, local data structures, boundary conditions, independent paths, error handling paths. These are the things, different scenario that we will put here the values, and we will get the result. After that we will get the result in the unit testing environment. So we have the driver, module, steps. After that, the time comes for the integration testing strategies. So we have the unit testing. We know like human behaviors, you can see here the person behaves individually some in some other way, but whenever he is in the group his behavior changes. So like that, if we group the different elements, different units, and we call the integration of the units. So after the integration of the units, we need the integration testing, whether after integrating the different units they are working or not. So what we'll use here, big bang approach. Okay, this is an incremental construction strategy. Okay, incrementally we will whatever module, suppose I have one module here like this, you can example, you can see one unit is here, second unit is here, third is here. You integrate all these things, then you will test. Then you also integrate this one, then you test. After integration of all these units, you test for this one. So this is nothing but integration testing. So how you will do the integration part? So one is the top down integration. Okay, so the top module is tested with the steps, means the small piece of codes that are there. So what you will do, top down module is tested with stubs. We are starting from the top, then we will keep on going to the bottom level. So stubs are replaced one at a time. Okay, and this is the depth first. Next, as a new module are integrated, some subset of test is rerun. So we will keep on, like I have added this one, they conducted. Okay, after adding this, again I will conduct like this. We will keep on increasing, and we are going to the up to from how many modules we have, like A to E. We have these different modules. Okay, so these 8 modules we have. All the modules will 7 modules will be tested in a top down manner. So next one is the bottom up integration method. So we are not not starting from the top down, but we are starting from the bottom up approach. So what we will combine this one. Okay, we will make the clusters. So in one cluster we will test. After this cluster we will again start combination. We will do the combining parts. Okay, so the input of this, it will come to here. Okay, so like that we will make the different cluster, and we will come as a whole in the top level. So that is the bottom up approach. So we have here, you can see here we have the clusters. Okay, worker modules are grouped into build and integrated. So this is integrated. Next one, this the driver are replaced one at a time. Okay, that is the depth first. So by and large, you can see here we have two integration approaches here. One is the top down, and next one is the bottom up, and next one is the sandwich testing. So in the sandwich testing, you can see here, so top down modules are tested with stubs, top down module, this one, and here cluster is worker modules are grouped into the builds. Worker modules are grouped into build. Worker means they are at the lower level and integrated, and they will also be tested with this. So here this is nothing but this is the sandwich between the top level and this one, this cluster, that is the worker modules. So that is why we call the sandwich testing. Next one is the regression testing. So in the regression testing, you can see here regression testing is the re-execution of some subset of tests that have already been conducted. Okay, to ensure that the changes have not propagated unintended side effects. So you can see here we make the different changes in our systems. So whenever we are updating our system, we are making changes in the system, we are fixing some problems in the system. So what is happening? The regression testing will help in that. What we'll do, we will re-execute again and again, okay, for checking it because of any changes in the some modules, some side effect is happening or not. If it's not happening, it is okay, otherwise we need to fix that again. So for that we use the regression testing. Okay, so re-execution of some subset of the test that have been already been conducted. So whether software is corrected, some aspect of the software configuration, that is the program, its documentation, or the data that support it is changed. So what, because of some changes, okay, definitely we made some changes into the software, its effect will it will affect some other components in the system. So regression testing becomes very compulsory in that cases. So regression testing helps to ensure that changes, okay, due to testing or other reasons, whatever reasons is there, but due to these changes you have to do the regression testing, and again you will check that system. So don't introduce unintended behavior or additional errors by yourself. So regression testing may be conducted manually by re-executing a subset of all test cases or using the automated capture or playback tools, whatever strategy you want to apply, or the automated or the manual way, you can do this one. So one thing you need to understand and you need to keep in your mind in regression testing means this testing will be applicable. You will prefer this one whenever some existing system is there and you are making some changes. Okay, at the time of testing also, whenever we found some problem came, in that also you fix. After fixing also it may create some side effect to the other components, so you will do for regression testing, whether again and again you will do rechecking, re-executing the code. Next one is the smoke testing. Okay, so a common approach for creating daily builds, okay, daily builds for product software. So here what is happening, some testing steps you can see here, software components that have been translated into code are integrated into a build. So how you will do, a build includes all data files, what it will complete, that is the files, data files, libraries are there, some libraries like we are using the some software, some already libraries modules are already available, we use for that as a supporting in the software. So here you can see, here we have the reusable modules, some reusable modules are there, and engineered components that are required to implement one or more product functions. Okay, so these things will be there in a build, and in that you will add up your the software, the component that you have created, you will integrate with that build, and you do the testing. So you can see here a series of tests is designed to expose errors. That is our objective of testing purpose, that will keep the build from properly performing its function. So the intent which should be to uncover, it shows stoppers, errors that have the highest likelihood of throwing the software project behind schedule. Okay, the build is integrated with the other builds and the entire product in its current form is smoke tested daily. Okay, so the integration approach may be top down or bottom up. So in smoke testing, what you will do, daily basis, whatever the product, whatever work is done, whatever component is completely developed, they will be integrated and tested up to the current state. Then again next day you are coming and you are developing some portion, the portion completed, they will be integrated and tested like the daily builds, whatever is there. So you can see here object oriented testing approach. So here begin by evaluating the correctness and consistency of analysis and design models. So testing strategy changes. How? The concept of unit broadens due to the encapsulation. We use the concept of the encapsulation in the object oriented programming. So it is a good thing in the because already we are creating the small units. So class is nothing but a small unit. So a class wise testing you can do. Okay, so the concept of unit broadens due to the encapsulation. Next, integration focuses on classes and their execution across a thread or in the context of a using scenario. Okay, so integration means there for particular work we know we have that inheritance. The inheritance is the property of your object oriented programming. Inheritance, multiple classes are combined by the inheritance. So in the inheritance, what we are doing, multiple classes, because they are collaborating. So for that we will perform the integration testing. So validation uses the conventional black box methods. So black box testing we will see in the details in the coming slides. So black box testing for this time you can understand there will be one box. Box means the module is there with you, the system complete as a whole, whatever is there, you will just give the inputs. Okay, you will give the inputs and you will get the output. So I will check only the output, whether my input is correspondingly whatever intended output is there, it is coming or not. So that is my only our job, not inside like the mobile phone is there. Whenever you're going to purchase those things, you will check the camera whether its touch screen is working or not, sound is good, camera is working. Okay, so these things we will check initially. That is nothing but similar to your the black box testing. Okay, so test case design draws on conventional methods but also encompasses special features. Okay, so broadening the view of the testing, you can see here how we can broaden this testing view. It can be argued that the review of object oriented analysis and design models is specifically useful because the same semantic constructs, whatever the units we are having like constructs, class, attribute, operation, messages are there, appear at the analysis, design and code level also. So object oriented programming approach looking very comfortable and very suitable for the testing that we do unit wise either or integration wise, because already we have created the different modules, different units. Okay, the basic unit class we are taking in the object oriented programming. So therefore a problem in the defining a definition of the class attributes that is uncovered. Okay, during analysis will circumvent. Okay, they will circumvent means they will avoid the side effects that might occur in the problem where were not discovered until design or code. Okay, or even the next iteration of the analysis also. Okay, so this can be done. So testing the CRC, that is the class responsibility collaborations model is there. So class responsibility collaborator, you can see here what is happening here. Revisit the CRC model and the object relationship models. So we have created the collaboration diagram in the designing part of this lecture. So you know how they are collaborating. So inspect the description of each CRC index and index card to determine if a delegated responsibility is part of the collaborator's definitions. So next, invert the connections means we have to change the connections to ensure that each collaborator that is asked for service is receiving request from a reasonable source. Next, the fourth point is using the inverted connections. Inverted connections means you can see here we have A and B. Now you invert like this here. Inverted connection you can see here. In step 3 that we did, determine whether other classes might be required for whether responsibilities are properly grouped among the classes. Next, determine whether widely requested responsibilities might be combined into a single responsibility. Okay, and step 1 to 5 are applied iteratively to each class and through each evolution of the analysis model. So we do the testing the CRC models. Okay, the object oriented testing strategy. So here what we see, the class testing is equivalent of the unit testing. One point you need to remember. Already I told too many times, I repeated. So class testing is the equivalent of the unit testing, because each and every class is a single unit. So operations within the class are tested, what you will test, and the state behavior of the class is examined. So these are things we are tested. Suppose I have class, okay, and I have the class name, then here definitely we have some variable. Suppose I have a variable A and B, okay, and I am writing one operation, that is the summation of A and B. Okay, division, multiplication, you can see here like that, and this one, the class name you can see, it is a calculate. It is a calculate name class is there, and these different methods is there. So whether they are working or not, means operations within the class are tested, these operations. Okay, the state behavior of the class is examined. Next, integration applied 3 different strategies. So thread based testing integrates the set of classes required to respond to one input or event. So thread is a concept in the in the operating system. Also you have seen the concept of thread and programming part is the thread is also there. So what we use, why we use this threading concept? Threading is a logical unit in the logical unit in the process. So threads can be used for the for parallelization of the different processes. Multiple processes can be parallelized, they can be simultaneously executed. So for that, one thread is there. One thread means 5 classes they are using. So in this thread based testing integrates the set of classes, more than one classes required to respond to one input or event. So use based testing so integrates the set of classes required to respond to one use case. For one use case means the user is there. Okay, suppose one user is there, system is there. We have one use case that making the registration to the website, to the portal. So this person is making the registration. How? One form will be there. In that form he will input the different reports, cancel, okay, and submit button, cancel and submit button, and save button will be there. He will put. So this is one use case. Whether this is working properly or not, that is one use case. Similarly, for that also there will be other cases. So cluster testing, we make the grouping, integrates the set of classes required to demonstrate one collaborations. So for one collaboration, I will be having the cluster group of the different classes. So those will be grouped, okay, for one person, one particular purpose. for which it means they have the collaborations, that cluster testing will be done there. Next one is the web app testing. So web app, you already know some application that is executed in the internet, using the internet by the browser. So for that also we have the testing, how you will do the testing in the scenarios. So the content model for the web is reviewed to uncover the errors. So interface model is reviewed to ensure that all the use cases can be accommodated. The design model for the web app is reviewed to uncover the navigation errors. So in the case of the web app, navigation is very important. If there is a problem of navigation, it is very hard, it is very difficult to run the web app. So testing is done for that also. So the user interface is tested to uncover the errors in the presentation and navigation mechanics. So each functional component is unit tested. Okay, so they will be tested. So it is the web app testing scenario. So you can see here web app testing, the navigation throughout the architecture is the tested. Sometimes what happens, we are clicking, the link is there, we have clicked, it will redirect to some other pages, okay, but it is not going to that place, it is not reaching to the resource, some error is coming, okay, a link is not working. So these navigation throughout the architecture, whatever is there, each and everything will be tested, all the navigation from A to B, okay, B to C, C to D, this navigation, how we are moving, okay, from one. So these are the different pages within the web app. Next one, the security tests are conducted. Security tests are conducted in the attempt to exploit the vulnerability in the web app or within the environment. So security testing is very important, and it is unavoidable in the web app, because we are going into the internet, so the hackers and other persons, they may penetrate your websites. So what you can do, so this testing is compulsory. We can perform some like SQL injection testing, so many things are there we can do and test whether it is any problem is there or not. Very compulsory. Okay, the web app is implemented in a variety of different environmental configurations and is tested for compatibility with the each configurations. Okay, like this time we are using the websites in two double modes na. In the sometimes we use the browser over the desktop or laptop, and there is another compatibility is the mobile. So website, whatever web app is there, whether it is compatible mobile phones or not, it is compatible to your laptop resolutions or not. So this type of situations also arises in this web app. So we test for, and sometimes also the problems come with the crash compiler or crash browser compatibility issues also. So it is tested for all. So performance tests are also conducted. Okay, more number of persons are coming there, then what is the behavior of your software. So performance tests are also conducting. So and also whenever user is coming to the websites, you can see how much time he's taking to perform one actions. Efficiency we also check there, with very less effort, with very less click and user input, okay, we can perform the task. So the web app is tested by a controlled and monitored population of end users. Okay, the results of their interaction with the system are evaluated for content and navigation errors, usability concerns, compatibility concerns, okay, and web app reliability and performance. These many things are tested from the end users. Okay, next one is the high order testing. So in high order testing, you can see here we have the validation testing. In validation is testing, the focus is on the software requirements, okay, whether it is meeting or not. System testing means focus is on the system integrations. Alpha beta testing, we have had discussion over the alpha testing and beta testing. Focus is on the customer usage. Alpha testing means before the release of any software, the testing for the validation is done for the software at the not in the user environment, but from the developer end, at the company end, in the environment. The alpha testing is done. There it is checked for the validation before the delivery. Okay, after that there is beta testing is there. So beta testing is there, is done at the customer end, but it is not the final release. Beta testing is left on the user's feedback. So like some beta versions of the software also comes, okay, like beta version of Windows 7 and Windows 10 came. So these software first they released in the market for the users. They can use freely and they can tell the if there any error is coming or problem is coming, defect is coming. So they debug everything after this. So that's why they release it for some specified period of time. So after that they release the actual product. So this beta testing is done that time. So recovery testing is there, forces the software to fail in a variety of ways, okay, and verify that recovery is properly performed or not. So recovery is also very important in the software testing. We deliberately make the software, okay, to fail. Okay, if the system is failing, we will check whether we are able to recover the system or not. Suppose what happens, my app is working, okay, my software is working, and what happened, sometimes one problem came for power failure come. Due to the power failure, your software now will start working. So whether when we will restart the system, I will start my software, whether that recovery is possible or not. So this type of deliberate situation is created which makes the system fail, software fails. Then we test for the recovery, whether we are able to perform this one or not. Next one is security testing, verifies the protection mechanism, very important aspect. Okay, so built into the system will in effect protect it from the improper penetration from the users, hackers or any persons. So next one is the stress testing. Stress testing is also very, very important in the system, in the software. So what happens, software in the normal situations it was no issue. So what we do, whenever the quantity of users increases, okay, so we can also test whether how much stress is able to tolerate by the system, by the software. So that is called the stress testing, you can see here. So what we'll do, execute a system in a manner that demands resource in abnormal quantity, frequency, volume. Okay, so what we can see here, abnormal means number of users you can increase, okay, frequency of and frequency we can also, so we can test the different aspects, whether load balancing is done, okay, it is able to withstand or it tolerate this, handle this load by the system or not. Say for example, your website, that shopping websites are there at the time of festival, its load on the website increases, so your software is able to manage those things or not. Performance testing, test the runtime performance of the software with the context of the integrated system. Okay, so these things we do. And this is the debugging. So this is nothing but the diagnostic process, debug. So you can see here, you can break, we have the bug in the system, so we will fix those errors, that we call that debugging. So this is nothing but it is a diagnostic approach process in the software. Okay, so now today we are ending this session. We are wrapping up this lecture. In the next lecture we will cover rest of the things of the testing part, because it is not a one-day class. So we will take we will finish in 2-3 lectures. Okay.